welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for another video. I hope that you are all doing good. If it is your first time to be my channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell that will appear after subscribing the channel. After doing that, you will be the first one to get all the latest news about Orlando Pirates that we are providing each and every day. Orlando Pirates fans here, this is where all Orlando Pirates fans meet and talk about Orlando Pirates. So here we are discussing everything that is happening at Orlando Pirates. And for those of you, if you're new here, you may now join our family by subscribing the channel. And remember to turn on notification bell that will appear after subscribing the channel. You'll be the first one to get all the latest news about Orlando Pirates that we are providing each and every day. Orlando Pirates supporters, today I have a great news that I want to share with you in this video. So what you need to know right now, please stay here and watch the video until the end. And without wasting time, now let us dive into the story and talk about Orlando Pirates. As a new season begins now, Orlando Pirates management are currently working very serious behind the scene as the club continues its preparation for this new season that is being officially begins. And we saw the club signed these several players from different clubs across the African continent, recruiting PSL clubs to boost the squad as the club aims to do the different thing than that they have done on the previous season, especially on a continental football. So now Orlando Pirates management are currently working very seriously to strengthen its squad to make sure that at the end of this new season that is being officially begins, I'm just talking about this 2026 and 2027 football season, the club is going to do the different thing than that they have done on the previous season, especially in a continental football. I mean a CAF Champions League campaign. And now there is a lot of speculation circulating on social media involving Orlando Pirates to be linked with the several players from different clubs across the African continent, including PSL clubs who could sign in this PSL transfer window that is still continuous. And among of them is the Brazilian striker Alvaro de Oliveira. He is among the players who reported to be linked with a move to Orlando Pirates as the club continues its preparation to strengthen its squad to make sure that ahead of this new season that is being officially begins, the club is going to do the different thing in both domestic and continental football. Remember, Orlando Pirates are expecting to defend the title after securing the 2025 and 2026 Betway Premiership title. So now the club is expecting to defend it. So it is a very, very difficult, and they must have to sign top quality players and top quality strikers before the PSL transfer window closes to make sure that the club is going to achieve the expectations. So the Brazilian striker Alvaro Oliveira is among the players who reported to be linked with a move to Orlando Pirates as the club continues its preparation for this new season that is being officially begins. And now let's jump into the source directory and talk about this a new striker that is reported to be linked with a move to Orlando Pirates. Orlando Pirates linked with the Brazilian striker Alvaro de Oliveira. Orlando Pirates could potentially add another attacking option to their squad, with the Brazilian striker Alvaro de Oliveira reportedly presented to the club's scouting department. The Buccaneers have been linked with the possibility of strengthening their forwards line, and Oliveira has now emerged as a player whose name has been placed on the club's ladder. The Brazilian forward is currently a free agent after recently parting ways with the United Arab States side Albate. According to the information available, Oliveira's representatives are actively exploring opportunities for their clients, with the clubs in Africa among the possible destination being considered. Orlando Pirates are understood to be one of the clubs identified as a potential landing spot. However, it is important to stress that there has been no formal approach from Orlando Pirates at this stage, Instead, the player has reported been presented to the club's scouting department, meaning the next step would be for Orlando Pirates to assess whether he fits the technical and tactical requirements of head coach Abdeslam Owadu. The Buccaneers are believed to be carefully evaluating their attacking options, particularly as the demands of the new season begins to increase. Pirates have a severe competition to contend with, making squad depth an important considerations. Pirates yet to make a decision. Being presented to a club does not necessarily mean that a transfer is imminent. I think all of us know that very well. But in Oliveira's case, the Pirates scouting department will first need to evaluate several aspects of the striker's profile before the club considers taking the matter any further. His recent experience in the United Arab Emirates could be one of the factors taken into the considerations, while his availability as a free agent could also make the situation attractive from a recruitment perspective. However, Orlando Pirates are unlikely to make a decision simply because a player is available. The club will want to determine whether Oliveira can provide something different to the attacking players already within the squad. This is a particularly important given the growing expectations surrounding the Buccaneers. Orlando Pirates are coming off a highly successful campaign domestically and will once again be expected to compete for major honors. With that comes increased the pressure on the club to have a sufficient quality in every position. So why the striker situation matters? The potential interest in Oliveira also comes at an interesting time for Orlando Pirates. The Buccaneers have shown that they are capable of creating opportunities and controlling matches, but there has been discussions around whether the team has enough proven goal-scoring options in the final third. Former Pirates midfielder Eugene Zwane recently highlighted the importance of adding a proven scorers to the squad, arguing that the club's reliance on players who are not naturally strikers could become an issue that makes any potential attacking recruitment particularly significant. A striker coming into the squad would not simply be expected to add numbers. Pirates will need someone capable of competing for starting positions, providing goals, occupying defenders, and converting the opportunities created by the team's attacking players. Whether Oliveira can fulfill that role remains to be seen. A free agent status could be important. One factor that could make Oliveira an interesting option is his current contractual situations. Having a lefty Albate, the Brazilian is reported available as a free agent. That means Orlando Pirates would not necessarily have to negotiate a transfer fee with another club should they decide to pursue him. Of course, a free transfer does not mean a deal would automatically be straightforward. There will still be a discussion around a personal terms, salary, bonuses, contract rate, and a potential other conditions. Most importantly, Pirates will need to be convinced that the striker is the right fit before opening formal negotiation. At the present, that stage has reportedly not been reached. Pirates have options to consider. For the Buccaneers, the situation therefore appears to be one worth monitoring rather than a transfer that is already close to completion. Oliveira has been placed in front of the club's recruitment team, and the scouting department will ultimately have a major say in whether the player progresses to the next stage. If the assessment is a positive, Pirates could potentially explore the possibility of bringing the Brazilian to South Africa. If the technical team is not convinced, the club could simply decide against making an approach. That distinction is important because the transfer rumors can sometimes create the impression that a player is already negotiating with a club when in reality he has only been recommended to its recruitment department. So now, what happens next? For now, Oliveira's situation remains one to watch. The striker is exploring his options after leaving Albert, while his representatives continues looking for a suitable destinations. Pilot meanwhile appears to be assessing whether he could be a realistic solutions to their attacking requirement. No formal approach has reportedly been made, and there is a current no indication that an agreement is close. But with the Buccaneers continuing to assess potential additions to their squad, Oliveira's name could remain in the conversation if the scouting department gives the move a positive assessment. For Orlando Pirates supporters, the key questions will be whether the Brazilian striker can convince the club that he has what it takes to compete at the highest level of South African football. And for now, the message is simple. Oliveira has reportedly been offered to Orlando Pirates, but the Buccaneers are still assessing the situations. Should the club decide to take the next step, this is still could develop quickly. Until then, it remains a case of watch this space. This is what about this is what about what is going on now at Orlando Pirates. Is the club still looking on how they can strengthen its striker department? Say Oliveira reportedly to be linked with a move to the Buccaneers. Drop your thought in the comment below, and don't forget to like the video, to share with your friends, to subscribe for those of you new here, turn on notifications so you never miss any video whenever I upload to this channel. Be honest, I have nothing to say to myself right now, and let me wish you the best. Welcome back into society. Be updated.